Welcome to Zootown. It is a bustling, energetic place where everyone works hard. But lately, things are falling apart. The bridge over the river has collapsed, leaving animals stranded on opposite banks, and there are no schools for the young residents to attend. These shared community needs are what economists call public goods. You cannot realistically build half a bridge, and once a bridge is built, everyone can use it, even the people who refuse to chip in for the materials. Because of this free rider problem, it is nearly impossible to get individuals to volunteer enough money to fix the infrastructure. Someone will always hope their neighbor pays the bill instead. In our own world, you see this need for massive collective funding all the time. Look at this sprawling coastal flood defense dam. A single household or small neighborhood could never afford the construction costs to hold back the ocean. It requires an entire society pooling its resources together.
Back in Zootown, that is exactly where the government steps in. Mayor Owl realizes the only way to fund these public goods is to act as a central collector. The local government takes a portion of everyone's wealth to pay for the large-scale infrastructure that benefits the whole town. But pouring concrete isn't the only goal. The mayor also collects these funds to create a safety net. By redistributing some of the town's total collected income, the government ensures that the poorest citizens, who might not be able to afford basic food or shelter on their own, are taken care of. This pooling of resources is taxation. It is the unavoidable engine that keeps a community surviving and functioning. However, as Mayor Owl is about to learn, the exact method used to collect that money deeply affects the daily lives of the citizens paying it. Inside the town hall, Mayor Owl operates a control room of policy levers, representing the different ways taxes are pulled out of the economy. The first lever is direct taxation. This is money taken straight from the income, wealth, or profits of individuals and businesses. Let's look at how this flows. This diagram shows a worker's paycheck being generated. Notice how it splits immediately. Before the worker even touches the money, a set percentage routes directly into the government's fund. The earner bears the tax burden right away. The second lever is indirect taxation. Instead of taxing what you earn, this taxes what you spend. When our worker goes to the store, an extra percentage is added to the price tag. That indirect tax flows from the cash register straight to the government. In this scenario, the store owner actually sends the tax payment to the government, but the store usually covers that cost by simply raising the price of their goods. They pass the burden of the tax onto the consumer. Governments use both of these levers because they capture economic activity at different stages. Direct taxes target the money as it is earned, while indirect taxes capture money as it is spent, giving the town multiple streams of revenue. But collecting money creates a complex problem: fairness. Applying the exact same tax rule to everyone impacts the wealthy lion, middle-class bear, and poor mouse very differently. This chart compares three distinct income levels. A proportional tax system takes the exact same percentage of income from all three tiers. Whether you make a little or a lot, the slice taken out is identical, say 20% across the board. Now watch the shading shift. Under a progressive tax system, the percentage of income taken increases as a person's total wealth rises. The lion pays a much larger share, while the mouse pays a tiny fraction. This places the heaviest burden on those most able to afford it. Finally, notice what happens when a flat dollar amount is applied to everyone. This creates a regressive tax. If everyone pays a $2 indirect tax on a loaf of bread, that $2 eats up a massive portion of the mouse's daily income, but it barely registers as a sliver for the lion. As income rises, the actual percentage of wealth paid falls. Governments have to balance these types carefully. If they rely too heavily on indirect regressive taxes, like sales taxes on basic food, they drain the wealth of the most vulnerable citizens and widen the income inequality gap. Taxes also act as a steering wheel for the community. Mayor Owl uses them to discourage the production of things that harm society, like products that create thick smoke and environmental pollution. By making these harmful activities more expensive, he encourages everyone to produce less of them. He can also use a specific type of tax called a tariff. A tariff is an extra fee placed entirely on foreign goods imported from other countries. By making those overseas products more expensive, the government encourages consumers to buy locally instead. For example, many countries place tariffs on imported technology. Taxing foreign competition protects domestic industries, like the local workers you see here assembling solar panels, giving them a chance to grow without being undercut by cheaper overseas prices. These targeted taxes act as behavioral guardrails. They actively steer the economy toward cleaner environments, healthier citizens, and stronger domestic growth. Every time a tax lever is pulled, a ripple spreads through the economy. For consumers, high indirect taxes mean higher prices at the store. When things cost more, people simply buy fewer of them, which limits the output of those goods. For workers, the ripple hits their motivation. If direct income taxes are set too high, people take home less of what they earn. This reduced disposable income acts as a disincentive, discouraging people from picking up an extra shift, or even pushing them to drop out of the labor force entirely. For producers, taxes eat directly into their revenues, but this financial pressure can also force adaptation. When faced with high environmental taxes, businesses are strongly incentivized to innovate, finding cleaner, cheaper ways to manufacture their products just to avoid the fee. Zooming all the way out, the government uses these combined levers to manage the total appetite for spending across the whole economy. If unemployment is high, they might cut taxes to put money back in pockets and encourage everyone to start buying again. If prices are rising too fast, they can raise taxes to slow down that spending and cool everything down. Taxation is a massive, ongoing balancing act. It is the necessary price of civilization, funding the bridges we cross and the schools we build. The challenge is constantly adjusting the levers, ensuring the community has what it needs, without crushing the incentives that keep the whole system moving forward.